Hello everyone and welcome to OEM Update Magazine's interactive session on Manufacturing 2022, Making Machine Tools Futuristic. The Indian machine tool industry, driven by technological improvement, is constantly innovating, helping the industry grow. The future of manufacturing that took shape with Industry 4.0 is advancing towards Industry 5.0. The sensors attached to the machine or cutting tools are providing grounds for data analysis and robotic manufacturing. The machine tool industry will focus more upon human machine interface, thus optimizing costs for productive manufacturing. Manufacturing technologies involve new age technologies in both metal cutting and metal forming, making the future of the tool industry. Digital manufacturing that focuses more on 3D and additive manufacturing is the futuristic trend. The concerns due to pandemics stand to reshape and alter the future of manufacturing, needing emphasis upon technical training and skilled manpower, creating engineers of tomorrow. On this note, today we have come together to witness an engaging interactive session on Manufacturing 2022, Making Machine Tools Futuristic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to today's distinguished speakers. Mr. Rajashekhara HV, Advisor and Head IMTMA Design Institute. Mr. Uzair Hasim Sheful, Industry Expert Manufacturing R&D ASDC. Mr. Amitabh Chaturvedi, Founder and Director of InnovaPoint Infotech Private Limited. Mr. Avinash Khare, Head IMTMA Technology Center, Pune, and Mr. Vaibhav Shah, Managing Director, API Metrology.
Mr. Rajashekhara, we were discussing about Industry 4.0 for machine tools in your initial submission. My question is, why Industry 4.0? Why we can't directly move into 5.0?
No, still we do not have the right definition on 5.0. We still not matured enough to understand the need of 4.0. First, we need to get complete picture. First, we need to adapt 4.0. Then we would be next level. We can grow to the level of 5.0 because the industry 4.0 there is no benchmark for anybody to what extent that we need to make our complete shop floor as a smart factory. So each company has its own process. Each company has its own manufacturing demands. Each company has their own technology. First, as an Indian manufacturing company, let's get completely matured and adapt and get the benefit from 4.0. Then we can look at to graduate from 4.0 to the 5.0. Because now we cannot take a couple of corporate companies which they have every facility, every technology. Let us look at the SMEs, small and medium and micro companies, whether they are graduated enough to adapt 4.0, whether they are willing to carry out that. In large, if I would say that most of our SME companies still they are not understanding what is all about 4.0 as a technology per se and what benefits they can draw out from this technology. Before we get the majority of Indian companies migrate to the 4.0 in terms of the technology and start getting the benefits out of that, till then, I don't think I see there is a 5.0. Still, it is a figure that is appearing across the manufacturing industry, but I'm not seeing anything that how we can elevate from 4.0 to 5.0. This is my submission. Let's get completely understand of the technology of 4.0, implement majority even to the micro level companies. Then probably we would be good enough to go for the level of 5.0.
Okay, got that. Mr. Uzair, what is your view on this? Would you like to share your opinion?
Yeah, of course. Generally what happened, you can look at the history of industrial revolution. So definitely all the revolution standards are interlinked with the previous one. So if you have third industrial revolution elements like robots, computers, PLCs and all, then we can go for 4.0. Right now, we don't have the sufficient, facility of 4.0. Then we can think about, okay, 5.0 is there. We can consider it up to some extent. So I definitely am agree with the Rajashekhar sir comment, because in what happens in industry 4.0, I have used the coboards. So by looking at the coboards, people are able to see the videos and all. So the third industrial robots and coboards, the difference is the safety point of view. So if you look at any kind of the OEM manufacturing process line, we are concerning always, we'll say only one word, safety first. So we cannot directly just put the cobot into along with the operator and just you can tell the operator, okay, we have got a new technology, you can work along with this. So definitely we'll be in trouble. So definitely I agree with that, because most of the companies has to adapt the industry 4.0 components. Then we can think of 4.0.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Usai. Mr. Amitabh, in your initial submission, it was addressing various challenges in front of implementing Industry 4.0. Will that remain same for 5.0 as well?
I think mostly yes. First of all, the even in 4.0, as I said, the human aspect is very important. I think it may change a little bit in 5.0. I think I am not expert on 5.0, but I still believe that human aspect will be because it's more of human. So those challenges will be there. They may change a little bit, but any new initiative will have their own challenges, of course.
Absolutely. Also, do you see any kind of need for such large scale standardization required in the looking at where we are standing in terms of digitalization among manufacturing spaces?
Standardization, you meant to say?
Standardization required for manufacturing practices to encourage, say, digitalization or Industry 4.0.
Yeah, I mean, I am of the opinion that every factory has their own process. As I was mentioning earlier, I believe that I think it's important to give the flexibility to everyone to have their own processes implemented. But once we start having success, once we see more and more references how others have done and they've been successful, I think that's when we will start to draw some kind of best practices. Right now, I don't think we have many references to know what works and what doesn't work. So I think standardization probably will be a little too little ahead of us right now.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Amitabh. Mr. Avinash, you were presenting about the essence of CNC or the possibilities of CNC. We are today seeing various latest CNC machines with a lot of new features, technology advancements. How do you see how CNC is getting enhanced and going to impact machine tool sector?
CNC is going to increasingly become more communicative. Rather than becoming a standalone controller for a standalone machine tool, it will become a powerful part of production system. So it will talk to production scheduling. It will have to talk to even ERP for that matter. So it will have much more power, and it will be self-optimizing, self-learning, self-evolving, self-improving. Those kind of features are increasingly going to come. And some of the CAD/CAM features, whatever we do through CAD/CAM may become integral part of CNC going further and things like that. Now, I want to comment something on Industry 5 since there were so many doubts.
Sure.
See, ladies and gentlemen, Industry 5 has evolved for premium handmade products, first of all. They say that handmade cookies are much better than Parle-G, which is mass produced. And anyway, would you like to go to a restaurant where you know that Robo is the chef? You will not go. So the American philosophy is that anything that is premium has to come with human creativity. Let it have human variability as well. But human creativity and human variability and human intellect must be powering the premium products. Now, Industry 5 is addressing the premium products basically. But if you are having run-of-the-mill jobs in a manufacturing shop, it will really not deserve Industry 5. It will be Industry 4 at best. Because Industry 4 and Industry 5 is not extension of Industry 4. In fact, it is opposite of Industry 4. It's not that you graduate, you go one more step, and from 4 you become 5. It's not like that. So Industry 4 is talking about total automation. Industry 5 is talking about human touch in everything. Now, how to bring in the human touch through AI, obviously. Now, AI is good and AI is bad. AI, if your machine tools start behaving like human beings, will they not become as temperamental as human operator? Now, do we want that? The moodiness coming into a CNC machine, is it acceptable? Or even in automation system for that matter, or robots? It is not. So, whereas AI has been permitted in autonomous driving for vehicles in Europe and Western world, but it is not yet permitted in machine tools and industrial automation. Yeah. So that is the update.
Absolutely.
That Industry 5 is first of all restricted to premium products, class products where human creativity and human touch is important. I mean, whatever machines may do, whatever AI we may do, I mean, we can't have a computer doing shero shairi like human beings. So human creativity has its own place, and
Absolutely.
which is going to be there. So
Yes.
the question is, we have to decide where we need what. Everything does not fit everywhere, right?
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Avinash.
yeah.
Mr. Vaibhav, what is your experience about acceptance of robotization among Indian manufacturers?
See, I think it's very industry specific. I mean, there's certain industry who don't care about 4.0, 5.0. For them, even 2.0 is more than sufficient. I mean, if you look at
Sorry, Mr. Vaibhav, I was addressing specific to machine tools.
Yes, so for machine tools itself, I'm talking about. So it's very industry specific, whether it's a foundry industry or an aerospace or a defense equipment or railways. It depends on your application. So if your application doesn't call for that level of accuracy, you have, as far as India is concerned, you have a very low cost manpower available. People would not really go or opt for automation just because the cost of production is always on their mind. When there are applications like aerospace, defense, or energy, or things which are more complicated, where the more access involvement required, is where really we see the industry 4.0 or 5.0 coming in its own way. People want a very high level of reproducibility. So what we have seen is many customers have asked us for a complete solution where robots would be used for machining, where you need, like a typical application is drilling on an aircraft wing. This is a very typical application where they want robots to do this in a free-form manner. If you want to do the same job on a CNC machine, might cost you way more time and several stages of setup time and several setups, several changes, whereas a robot can be a perfect tool for that kind of application, provided that it has a vision, or the motion of that robot is completely under control of some metrology guided system. So this is what we see is the next thing that most
going to emerge. Yes.
Is looking at.
Thank you, Mr. Vaibhav. Mr. Chandrasekhar, when we talk about futuristic machine tools, self-reliance on sensors or availability of sensors are very, very critical. How do you see India becoming going to be self-reliant in terms of having our own sensors?
The sensors compatible for Industry 4.0, I think we have a n number of varieties to capture the various data from the machine tool. Especially when you talk about the vibrations which are occurring across the entire machine, the tool vibrations that are coming across, the energy measurement which is coming across. Then if you look at the temperature rises which are happening at every element which is being need to be measured in terms of bringing the quality and accuracy, because that's where, I think I have gone through some of the catalogs. I'm not sure whether they are from various different countries, but we have those kinds of all sensors available at our doorstep. It's only the question of integrating the technology, that is a sensor capturing the data, and sufficient platforms that are available to capture the data and analyze the data, and also bring it to the top floor, which are very essential to take an ultimate decisions. From the point of sensors and adapting the technology, I think we have come out very decent level of understanding. Implementation may not be the challenge, only the configuration of what need to be done to my shop floor is the only decision which Amitabh also mentioned about at 3 different baskets. Those are all very essential to make a blueprint of what need to be done to my shop floor. And putting everything once it is configured, I don't think much of investment or much of the time which is required, and data can be flown from shop floor to the top floor without any meddling the data in between by the people. That is almost, what I have understood here is the data which is currently flowing without the technology, they are all meddled by some people, manipulated by some people, which is not really coming to the decision makers, what exactly the problem or what exactly the production data. Since the data is not flowing to the top floor, probably there are some wrong decisions will go, or lack in taking the decisions or implementation of the right problem at the right time at the right cost, which is going to be plugged by using this all sorts of technology. I hope I have answered your question.
Manufacturing 2022, making machine tools futuristic. We hope you enjoyed the session thoroughly. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Rajashekhara, Mr. Uzair Hasim Sheful, Mr. Amitabh Chaturvedi, Mr. Avinash Khare, and Mr. Vaibhav Shah. I would also like to thank Mr. Gopal Anand and Mr. Prasad Nair for taking this initiative. Delegates and viewers to stay connected with us on our social media handles. OEM Update Magazine is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Additionally, you can also download our app from Google Play and App Store. Request you to stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.